You, yeah, you. Do you want to learn how to animate in stick notes? Alright then, I'll teach you. Are you damn serious? No, we are not having that. Tell me shit. Let me just turn this shit off. Okay, don't get it. Alright, first of all, you need a background. But you don't always need it. Because if you're like, where do I put it? Well, I'll show you how. Look, put on show guide. And then outline it to wherever you want. So I'm gonna make mine right there and make it lower here. Now this, don't worry, this will not show up when you're animating. Look, it doesn't show up when you're animating, so don't worry. Now, get a stick figure. You can choose anything if you want. I'm gonna make this a little bit lower. Let's make it here. Or you could just add a floor background that's already in the default stick figures. Yeah. Or you could just make your own background. Depends. Now, time for the animating. Most people, like most pros, they use in-between frames. But I'm not like that. I don't use in-between frames. I just do it head to head, you know what I mean? And look, when you're playing your animation, this is what you can actually do. Scroll down. Should be somewhere. Oh no, that's in the pro version, I think. Yeah, that's probably in the pro version. Yeah, that's pro version. I do have the pro version, but I don't use it that much. So look, we got our stick figure. Now, if you want to make a smooth animation, you can use in-between frames, but I don't use in-between frames. I'll teach you how, and I'll show you an animation with in-between frames if you do want to do in-between frames. Alright. In-between frames come in handy when you have your keyframes first. Your keyframes are your main frames. They are used to they are the main parts of the animation. The main frames. So look, for example, I'm going to make my stick figure here do a combo. Now you don't always have to do a combo if you don't want to, but yeah. So look, he's ready. Now, I'm going to show, so first keyframe, the punch. So that's the punch. Now a kick. Way too unrealistic. Make sure your animations are realistic, because your stick figures are also human. So make it look realistic. I don't know how to make this look realistic. Yeah, I'll make it on the floor, I guess. And now, end part. Now look, it does not look good. What is that? So we're gonna make it better. Now, tweening. I'll show you what it is. Tweening on. Tweening makes your animations look smooth, but they actually aren't. it just makes your thing to 60 FPS. Highest FPS in all of Sticknos. And that, look, he's literally teleporting. He's just teleporting. Do you see how fast that is? And one is just way too slow. Like, look. So, I'm going to show you with tweening and without tweening. So look. So that's the punch. So let's make him go into the punch. So he starts off by going forward with one of his arms charging. His arm starts charging. And I'm also just going to turn on quick resize tools. These, no, not those. These, they're really, really, really helpful. Now, you're wondering, what did I just do? I just made my arm stretchier. Now, what does this do? If you make your arms stretchy or your legs, it makes it look way better. Because then you can do like cool karate kicks, you know what I mean? So, now look, he's stretchy now. And then if you don't want the quick resize tools on, then you can just turn them off. Boom. Now, my stick figure is coming for the punch. So I'm going to animate that punch. Gonna extend his arm. Gonna make him go forward a little. Then I'll make a stance. Whatever. Now I want him to go into a kick, so let's animate his. Alright. Whatever, I don't really care. What I'll do, I'll copy this dude. Now I'll paste, delete, no, oopsies. Paste, delete this dude. What? Didn't I? Oh my god, what? Where's the sweaty dude? Yeah, that's the stretchy dude. Let me paste him. I got the wrong one. Oh, I know. Now look, now I'm going to animate him going into a kick. So I need to add a jumping position. And I'm going to try to do a jump front kick. How it works, you go like this, foot up, you go forward, he's going to go forward. Damn, his arms are actually so small. And boom. I don't even make him on the ground, so there. See, look, it looks very good, alright. But look in the middle, there's some white frame. But now, I'm gonna turn off tweening and see if that changes anything. And now look, there's no white frame. See that? See that? You see that? You see that? You see that? Now it may look choppy, but we can improve that by increasing the frame rate, either 17 or 24 if you're really pro. I mainly go about 10 to 15. That's my home. You know what I mean? The one I'm comfortable with. You don't always have to go what YouTube tells you to do. You can go with whatever you want. I'm more comfortable with the 10, the default one, so I basically use that mostly. I can't go a little higher though. You can't experiment with higher ones. Now look, his leg starts to stop. He goes, and now you're gonna do the final position. You're going down. Just a landing. Now walks. If you want to learn how to do a walk cycle, I'll be making one soon, a video about it, so make sure to check that out as well. And we should be done now. Now you may be thinking, bro, the kick looks so bad. We can make that better by adding something called a double frame. Double frame is when you do the same frame twice. So look, that's the same frame. And look, if you think my punch, look, I have a double frame with my punch as well. Except it's going a little further, which I'm also going to do with this. Make it a little further, so like the animation looks more realistic. And now we're going to add something called the camera shake. Now normally people just do this. No, just no. My honest opinion, go to arrows, 5, a nudge amount, and look, when they do an attack, do that and then just leave it because there's a double frame already ahead. So just do this, move it a little bit, then just leave it because it's going to go back to the center. And then look, here, boom, and boom, and there, done. You see how the camera moves when they do their, you know what I mean, their kicks and punches. But the kick, honestly, I don't think the camera did move, but this doesn't look like it, you know what I mean? Now I'm going to put it on to 10. See, look, it doesn't look like it's moving, which is why now we're going to add a background. So when you add a background, it becomes 10 times easier. I'll tell you why. You don't need this anymore, okay? You don't need that. So you can just go to guide. You can just go here, and you can do guides off. Bruh. Guides off. Now. And now you may be thinking, do you have to add it every single frame? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But there's an easier method. So get first your background. So I'm gonna get mine. Ambient. Somewhere should be here. I'll use this grass for example. Now place it down where my stickman is standing. Alright. And now I copy that. And I click on my stickman, paste. Click, paste. Click, paste. Click, paste. Click, paste. And then just keep repeating that until you're done with all your frames. But if you did already add a background at the first frame, this would be really easy because the background would just stay there while you're animating. It would be 10 times easier, but you can use this method if you want. And we are done. Honestly, the kick does feel a little off. I'm gonna do just make it a little more back and add more of a camera shake. So right here, get arrows, add it all the way to the left. Not a really big one because the really big one is for very epic attacks. This is just a simple kick. See, it feels like the camera isn't moving like it's supposed to be. That's why you gotta enhance it, you know what I mean? Here. That should be good. I'm also gonna make them a little bit downer just to add. See, that makes a really epic one with where the ground even is like up, you know what I mean? So what you gotta do, make it back to where it was, but just leave it. So like this. And our animation is done. Rate how this looks. And you can't. Now what I'm actually gonna do. No, I don't want to do that. Because if I add a testing dummy, that's gonna take way too long to animate. I have to do frame by frame, frame by frame. So I'm not gonna do that. Hope you liked today's tutorial. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.